Great. So, welcome back. This is God's Own Goal. Welcome back to the channel. I've had a long night, a long day, of course, and a long weekend of football, and it has been quite eventful. So, yes, remember to like, share, and subscribe. And let us talk about the results of the weekend. And there are only two games that I'm going to talk about, apart from mentioning results of other teams. And the first result was Arsenal 3, Sunderland nil, and the other result is Liverpool 1 and Man City 2. So let me put it plainly and clearly. I, for one, am one of the few people, Arsenal fans, to be precise, that wanted to actually see Man City win at Anfield. Of course, a 9 point gap was good for us, but I personally just preferred just to see Liverpool suffer. And of course, Man United fans and the teams that are actually fighting for the top four positions. So seeing Liverpool lose, that was the best result for me. Yes, of course, in the title race in general, I know we are 6 points ahead. We are going to do our thing, but Liverpool losing was as important as seeing as Liverpool winning at the same time. So yes, let's start with our game. Last yesterday, I delayed the match reaction because I wanted to see how the game Liverpool versus Man City would go, and I can comfortably say that was the right decision because I would have been gloating here and and celebrating a 9 point lead only to be cut into the last minute of the game, and I would have been gutted by it, and I wouldn't have given a proper prediction for the game. But yes, even before the game started, where I was watching the game, I was pretty confident, or rather, I was expecting Man City to go on and win the game. It's a title race. Come on, what do you expect less from Man City? So yes, it was a good game to watch. Um, let's talk about the Arsenal game first. Let's see. Gyökeres scored twice and Zubimendi scored. It was a 3-0. It wasn't really as comfortable as it is, but the subs did the thing. Martinelli, as he said, Gyökeres, Kai Havertz has been good ever since he came back from injury. He's been okay. Like he's been getting into GA. He's currently has 5 goals and assists ever since he came from injury. So that's a good thing. Also, just to mention, we eliminated Chelsea from the Carabao Cup. I mean, there's a lot to talk about up to now, but step by step, we're going to, compress all those episodes. But yes, Arsenal won, good win. We went 9 points clear, but now it's 6 points. We're still in the title race. We're going to face Brentford next. Sunderland wasn't an easy game. They made it really hard. It's one of those games where I wasn't really comfortable watching it, but as the goals went in one by one, I was getting, relaxed. Raya did everything to concede, but it seems that like Havertz and company did not want to concede a goal. So that was the 12th clean sheet of the season that we had. He's on course to winning the Golden Glove for the third season in a row ever since he joined us. So basically, he's been good at the back. Of course, some people will say that he's only good because of the backline we have of Saliba and Gabriel. But in general, he's a very good keeper. He's a very good goalkeeper in general. Also in the Champions League, he performs very well. In the cup games, we've been playing with Kepa Arrizabalaga, and we made it to the final because of him. So yes, I expect him to start in the final, but whoever will start versus Man City, I don't really mind. But it would be really interesting to see us winning the Carabao Cup. So yeah, the league seems like it's going to be a two-horse race because now Aston Villa drew with Bournemouth. don't really look like they are going to mount a challenge. But yes, so it looks like it's going to be a two-horse race between Arsenal and Man City, and the games that are following versus Man City, they look easy games. Same case for Arsenal, easy on paper, but once you get on the pitch, that's when you know that things are hard. Yes, and yeah, that was basically it. The Arsenal game. We were supposed to win, we won, and that's it. We got our points. Now onto this game versus Liverpool versus Man City. It was very very interesting. We've seen a lot of missed chances, especially from Haaland. In the first minute, he missed an open chance. Allison was basically playing against Liverpool today because he made some horrendous mistakes in the end. It really cost them. Sobos lie. You know, he put a free kick, the same, almost a similar position that he scored against us, and from that point, you could see that the game was almost wrapped up until Bernardo Silva equalized. You know, a few moments later, and then Man City got a penalty, which was a very valid penalty on my end. But I've seen complaints from other people saying that since the ball was already going out, it shouldn't been a penalty. But who really knows? Who really knows what is a penalty and what is not a penalty in this league? So they got a penalty. They scored. Haaland scored. Actually, Haaland had scored for Man City at Anfield for a period of time. He scored versus at Anfield while he was playing at Salzburg. Was it Salzburg or Leipzig? Salzburg, yes. And he scored at Anfield. So today he got an assist and he got a goal. So that's a big game player. He should be hyped up as much as it would. They got the 3 points. They actually scored a third goal, but it was denied by the referee, and I don't understand why Soboslai got a red card for denying. Was it denying a goal scoring opportunity? I don't know, because the ref obviously gave a goal scoring advantage. The ball went in while Haaland pulled Sobo, so they did not. They denied a goal, and they also gave Liverpool a red card. I think that is quite unfair, to be honest, because VAR this season has been a shambles. It has been. There's so many things to say about VAR, but I'm not really happy with how they have been using it over this period. But we just have to accept it and move on. Unfortunately, made the scoreline look not that bad, because 3-1 scoreline now that looks bad. But a 2-1 scoreline and a red card, that doesn't even look good in general. So yes, yeah, Man City did their business. Of course, one thing that I know in this season is that Man City is going to win all of their games. Whether they win or not, that is the mentality that I'm going to adopt. I've mentioned it severally in the podcast that I know Man City will win all their games. So it is up to us to actually go ahead and get results in games that we are supposed to win. We have to win. Yeah. In games that we are supposed to win, we have to win. And gives that Man City have dropped points, we have to get those points. We had a chance, and I mean we had a chance. So last month in January, to go at least 9, 12 points clear against them, but we never did. But at least we've maintained the 6 point gap. Uh, Waiting to see how the season goes. They don't have any hard games because they are only left with I think it is Chelsea as a big six team, and I don't think they have any other big six team that they have to, Chelsea and us, that they have to face as the big six team. For us, we are left with Spurs, Chelsea, and Man City to them. So those are 3 games. And it looks like the title decider will be at Etihad. Whether the gap will be 6 points or more or less, it doesn't really matter, because we don't need to lose at Etihad. No matter what happens, we just have to continue with this form, win most, if not all, our games. Because as it stands, if Man City win all their games, bar the Arsenal game, then maybe we actually lose that game. We're going to win the league by 3 points. So Looks like the league will go up to the wire, will go up to the last game of the season, and I appreciate that. It looks like it's going to be an interesting season, and being the position that I'm in, being fast, 6 points ahead, getting clean sheets for fun, scoring, not from our strikers, not our strikers, but my striker is still scoring. Watching Man City struggle with other teams. Yeah, if we keep our players fit, we keep the energy levels right, we keep the expectations, at a point where it makes sense, then yes, we are going to win the league. But it all entirely depends on how we are going to perform in the Carabao Cup final, because the mentality of it, because going to win at Anfield, not very many teams actually go and do that, and doing a comeback because they were losing 1-0 from that amazing free kick, and they equalized and they found an opportunity to actually go ahead. They even scored a third goal, which was denied. That is the right mentality to have. And congratulations to Man City. They did what we couldn't do at Anfield. They did what we couldn't do at Emirates, because they've gotten 6 points from Liverpool this season only, beating them home and away. And the last time they did that was almost 80 to 89 years ago, 80 plus years ago. That was when Man City last won home and away against Liverpool. That is a perfect record. And if things go south, and I mean if things really go south, and Man City find a way to clinch this title, I think we are just going to lift our hands up and say Guardiola is one of the greatest manager to ever grace the EPL. No matter, of course, Ferguson won 13 EPL titles. That's okay, and maybe half of them are covered with controversies and referee decisions and things that make football look bad. But if Guardiola goes ahead, I don't see him doing it. But if Guardiola goes ahead and wins the league this season, then yeah, I'll just have to lift up my hands and say, yo, this is the greatest manager to ever live. Arteta tried his best as a novice manager, because even winning a league, now we had the chance to win the league when Klopp and Pep was there, but now we have only Pep who is there. Winning the league when Pep is there, that would be fantastic for us. It would give him a retirement, an early retirement, because as it looks, Guardiola won't be here next season. So the best time to win the league is actually now, and I hope that we do it at the end. Now, for Liverpool, they are chasing a Champions League spot, that is a top four finish or a top five finish, depending on how the English teams will perform in the Champions League. So, as it stands, up to number five, you're guaranteed a Champions League spot. And fifth place is where Chelsea is, and Liverpool are currently on sixth place. And as it looks, with all the money they've spent in the summer, they look like they're going to be playing in the Europa League next season. And Arne Slot's job looks in danger. Looks like, I don't know how this guy won the league last season. Of course, they'll say, oh, Arsenal bottled it. But I can tell you for free, this was the first season, last season. That was the first season that I never saw my team on top of the league, if not in alphabetical order. Because at no point we were on top of the league. Absolutely at no point. And by the end of November 2024, people knew that Liverpool were going to win the league. They knew. The same way people are saying, and they saying that they know that Arsenal is going to bottle the league. They are forgetting that this is more or less a different Arsenal side, and has very, very good bench players that can come and change the game. And as you can see, for the past, I think, 3 or 4 games, for example, versus who? Versus Sunderland, our subs made a difference. Versus Inter, our sub made a difference. What was Gyökeres and Martinelli. I think versus Nottingham we didn't do anything much. Versus Chelsea in the Carabao Cup, our subs did the job. Havertz came in and scored. So yes, that dagger was beautiful to see. Oh my god, I wish I had a match reaction for that. I was ecstatic. The game, actually, that game versus Chelsea. Let me now at least talk about it for a bit. That game versus Chelsea wasn't the easiest. But then again, the approach Chelsea took to the game and what they were expecting for what to happen, so then for them to reach the Carabao Cup final, they came with a back five. They expected maybe us to come forward, but we just wanted to defend the whole 90 minutes, and I was okay with a 0-0 scoreline. But seeing that last attack, you know, trying to beat that build up, Rice with the perfect pass with his weak foot to Havertz, and Havertz goes on and rounds the keeper and scores and points to the badge. Where's the badge? Yes, and points to the badge, the Arsenal badge. That was fantastic to see. And seeing Chelsea crying takes them to at least 9 to 10 years without winning a domestic trophy in England. As much as they're calling themselves the world champions, they're the best team in London, London is blue, blah, blah, blah. They haven't won anything at home. That means any English title, be it the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, or the Premier League, for the past 10 years. That also excludes the Community Shield. They haven't won it. Of course, they've won Champions League in that period. They've won the Europa League in that period. They've won the Club World Cup. They've won the Conference League, and basically outside England. But anything locally, they haven't won. So yes, that was a good way to end the game. We won. We are going to be facing Man City, who won 3-1 versus Newcastle. And yeah, I don't want to talk about Newcastle. It's my second team. I appreciate them. They lost again versus Brentford. You know how annoying that is. And Eddie Howe's job looks tough, looks hard to come by. But yes, perfect weekend for everyone involved. It would have been actually really nice to have started a Monday with a 9 point lead. But fortunately or unfortunately, we've maintained the 6 point gap that we had last week because they didn't beat Spurs. So Spurs did us a favor, and we are going to be spanking them because they lost this weekend versus Manchester United. Do you know how tough that is? Losing to Manchester United is going to be long. They got a red card, so they won't be having, with all the injuries that they have, they won't be having their captain Romero in the team. I expect us to perform well, very well, and I mean extremely well at their home ground. And I expect us to get the 3 points at the White Hart Lane now that we have most of our players fit. Besides Merino and Odegaard and Saka, who have been missing, because Merino looks like he's going to miss the rest of the season and probably going to miss the World Cup, which is going to be bad for him because he's a vital player in the Spanish national team. I hope he gets well soon. So that's that. About Saka, not necessarily guaranteed a starter in the England squad, but he's going to be in that squad by hook or crook as long as he's fit and is firing. He's one of those players that won't miss in the national team to play. So yes, um, yeah, there are so many things to talk about, and I mean there's so many things, but just to keep it plain and simple. Today's result favored not really anyone or everyone, but I think the biggest winners to come out of this weekend has to be Man United because of their form they've had. They've won 4 games in a row. Now they are in the top 4 spots. They are in contention for Champions League next season. They are going to be facing West Ham next, who are in a relegation battle. So yes, it's going to be an interesting watch. I expect Man United to win regardless of who they play at this point because now They have nothing else to fight for. They are playing basically one game a week. Even if they play in the midweek, they're not playing in the FA Cup, so they'll have like I think a week and a half just to rest. Same case we bet with Spurs before we face them. They'll have at least 13 days before we face them. And we're expecting also the Champions League playoffs to happen. I think the highlight of the playoffs is Real Madrid versus Benfica. That is the highlight. That is the game that basically everyone will be watching to see how they'll perform. And then we're waiting for the next draw after the teams have been confirmed. The 16 teams have been confirmed. So yeah, there's a lot of football to talk about. This is good. I appreciate. Of course, I wasn't as happy as I was yesterday, but today this is cool. I accept the result. It's a good title race. I want it to be as competitive as it is because rival fans have been crying and have been calling, saying that we play boring football. We are set piece FC. We do this and that. Blah blah blah. That is fine and that is okay. But as long as we are grinding results, we are getting 3 points in each game. Majority, if not all, of Arsenal fans will be happy with anything but 3 points. So yes, I think we're going to talk about the midweek games that come up. You're going to run down the results that happened this weekend. I wasn't basically prepared for all of this because I've just arrived at home. Now I just have to set up everything and get the episode out to see how it is. But yes, remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. This is God's on Goal. I will see you on the next episode. Peace.